Okay, I feel a little weird somehow that this example turned out to be like this. Let's take one more example now, just to give you a better feel of it. Suppose I want to take the number 9.8125 in decimal. Question is, what is this in binary? So first we'll take the 9. First so we keep dividing by 2. So I'll get 4 remainder 1. Divide this by 2. I get 2 remainder 0. Divide this by 2. I get 1 remainder 0. Divide this by 2. I get 0 remainder 1. So 9 is 1001. Why are my things always symmetric? What is wrong with me? I'm going to take a different number. Sorry. Yes, this is asymmetric. I'm going to take 13. 13. So divide by 2. 6 remainder 1. Divide by 2. 3 remainder 1. Divide by 2. 1 remainder sorry, this is 0. 1 divided by 2, 0 remainder 1. Very good. So 13 in base 10 is in reverse order 1 1 0 1 in binary. And now this number 0.8125 we multiply by 2. So what's 0.8125 times 2? This is going to be 1.6250. And because this 1 comes over here, I take a 1. Now I take 0.625 and multiply by 2. I will get 1.25. So because of this 1, I'll take a 1 over here. Now I multiply again this 0.25 by 2. I get 0.5. Now this is a 0, so I take the 0. I multiply by this 0.5 by 2. I end up with 1. So I put 1. That's it. Now I have reached 0, no more multiplying. So now this I put in forward order. So 0.8125 in decimal is 0.1101 in binary. So now putting these two together, I get 13.8125 in the decimal system is 1101.1101. Now how did these two turn out to be equal? Okay, somehow I'm just picking out magical examples today. I'm on fire. Fine, but you get the idea. You now know how to convert a decimal number, even if it has like fractions. You know how to convert that into binary. Okay. So we use binary also because now in your computer you just have to store ones and zeros. But how does the computer store these numbers in its memory? It uses what we call bits. So a binary digit is called a bit. So in the computer's memory, it basically stores in one memory cell either a 1 or a 0. So that is 1 bit. A collection of 4 bits, so this is 1 bit. 4 bits is called a nibble. 8 bits is called a byte. And then 1000 bytes is called a kilobyte. 1000 kilobytes is a megabyte, 1000 megabytes is a gigabyte, 1000 gigabytes is a terabyte, and so on. So there was a time earlier when this conversion factor was not 1000, it was actually 1024, because 1024 is a proper power of 2. If you keep multiplying 2, so 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024. But lately, to conform with the other standards, where gram to kilogram is 1000, or kilogram to, well, nobody says megagram, but kilo to mega is 1000, mega to giga is 1000, and so on. So to keep with that scientific convention, these have been redefined. They're no longer 1024, there's 1000. I think only Microsoft, if I'm not mistaken, continues to use the 1024 convention. But in general, for all kinds of scientific computing, the conversion factor is just 1000. Anyway, so we are mostly going to be concerned with bits and bytes. So we are talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cells. So this is your 1 byte. And this can store how large number can this store? So if you have only 1 byte, then this can only contain a 0 or a 1. Binary decimal. So if you have only 1 byte, then this one bit, then the 1 bit can only have 0 or it can have 1. So in decimal, 0 is 0 and 1 is 1. If you have 2 bits, then you can have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, or 1, 1. So these are numbers ranging from 0 to 3. If you have 3 bits, you can go from 0, 0, 0 all the way to 1, 1, 1. So these are the numbers from 0 to 7. In general, if you have n bits, then you can go from 0, 0, 0 n times to 1, 1, 1 n times. Or in decimal notation, you can go from 0 to 2 to the power n minus 1. So if you have a byte which is 8 bits, you can go from 0 to 2 to the 8 minus 1. How much is 2 to the 8? 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. So 0 to 255. So these are all the integers that you can store if you have 8 bits or 1 byte. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about binary arithmetic. Let's first lay down what are the rules of adding binary numbers. 0 plus 0 is just 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 1, normally you would say 2, but in binary 2 is 1, 0. So these are your basic rules of binary addition. So now we can do addition exactly the same way as we do for binary. So let's take an example. So if I want to do, for example, let's say 9 plus 4, we know that 9 plus 4 is supposed to give you 13. Let's do this in binary. So in binary, 9 is represented as 1, 0, 0, 1, and 4 is represented as 1, 0, 0. Then you can add them up exactly as we did before, and with the help of these 4 rules. So 1 plus 0 is 1, 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, and 1 plus nothing is 1. and you can check that this number is exactly 13. But now what if I wanted to do, let's say, 13 plus 4? Now we know that 13 plus 4 is supposed to give you 17. So let's work this out in binary. So 13 is 1101 and 4 is 100, and when we add this up, 1 plus 0 gives 1, 0 plus 0 gives 0, 1 plus 1 gives 10, as we can see over here. So you put a 0 over here and carry over 1, and then 1 plus 1 gives again 10. So again, the system of carrying over to the previous digit also holds over here, and you can check that 10001 is just 17. So that's how you do binary addition. How about binary subtraction? Now this is where things get a little tricky. So let's take an example. Let's do 13 minus 4. No? So you know 13 minus 4 should give you 9. In binary, 13 is 1101. No, 8, 4, yeah. And 4 is 100. So when you subtract, 1 minus 0 is 1, 0 minus 0 is 0, 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus nothing is 1. So you get 9. What if I want to do 9 minus 4? 9 minus 4 should give me 5. So in binary, 9 is 1001, and I want to subtract from it 100. So 1 minus 0 gives me 1, 0 minus 0 gives me 0. Now here I have 0 minus 1. So I will do the same thing that we used to do when we were doing subtraction in decimal system, which is I will add a 1 over here and take this to 0. Now that's what we used to do also in binary, right? Because if you want to do 53 minus 8, then basically you turn this 3 into 13 and take this back to the previous digit. Then do 13 minus 8 is 5 and 4 minus nothing is 4. So same way over here, I made this 0 into a 10 and reduced the previous digit. So now 10 minus 1 is 1, because 10 is 2, remember that. And now 0 minus 0 is nothing. So I'm left with 101, which is 5. What if I was interested in doing 9 minus 3, which should give me 6? Let's do this. So 9 is 1001, 3 is 11. So 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 minus 1 I can't do. So again, promote this 0 into a 10 and take this back into a 1. But then this also has to go back into a 0. So now 1 minus 1 is 0. Over here I'm left with 1 minus this is 10 minus 1 is 1. 1 minus 0 becomes 1, and then 0 minus 0 is nothing. And now you can check that 110 is exactly 6. So same thing that we used to do in decimal, because over there suppose you wanted to do 502 minus 8, then first you converted this to a 12 and got 4, but this became 9, you went back to the previous digit. But because this was a 0, you took this also back to the previous digit, and then you got 494. So same way, if you're borrowing from a 0, then you have to go back to the previous digit. So that's how you do subtraction in binary the normal way. There's one more way of doing it, which is a little more involved, and this is called using 1's complement and 2's complement. So let me first introduce these two concepts to you. What is the 1's complement? So 1's complement just means in any binary number, wherever there's a 0, you take 1. Wherever there's a 1, you make it 0. So if I ask you what is the 1's complement of 1001110, well, that is just going to be 011001. Basically every 1 converted to a 0, every 0 converted to a 1. So this is called the 1's complement. Or if I ask you what is the 1's complement of 9, which is 1001, then this is just going to give you 0110. Okay, that was 1's complement. Now let me introduce another concept called 2's complement. 2's complement is 1's complement plus 1. So 2's complement of 9 is, first you do 1's complement and then you add to it 1, which is 1 1 1. Well, 0 1 1 1, but leading 0 doesn't mean anything, so just 1 1 1. Okay, so this is how we define what is called the 2's complement. Now I'm going to list out some 2's complements. Tell me if you can see a pattern. So 2's complement of, suppose I take the number 9. So this is the decimal number, this is the binary number, this is its 1's complement, and this is its 2's complement. So let's say 9, 13, 15. So in binary, 9 is 1001, 13 is 8, 12, 13, 8, 12, 14, 15. Let's also take one more. Let's take number 3. So 3 is just 1, 1. I'll call it 0011 because everywhere I'm doing 4 digits, no? So I'll just call it 0011. So what is the 1's complement of each of these? This is 0110, 0010, 0000, no, 1100. Now what is the 2's complement? I'll just add 1 to the 1's complement. So this is 0111, 0011, 0001, 01101. So let me just write these numbers down in decimal form now. So 0111 turns out to be 7, this turns out to be 3, this turns out to be 1, this turns out to be 13. Do you notice a pattern between a given number and its 2's complement? You'll notice that the sum of them always turns out to be 16. It turns out to be 16 because we are always working over here with 4 bits. So 2 to the 4 is 16. That's why we are always ending up with a total of 16. So we say that 7 is the 2's complement of 9, or 3 is the 2's complement of 13, 1 is the 2's complement of 15, 13 is the 2's complement of 3 with 4 bits. And now here comes the interesting part. If I denote for, let's say for a given number b, if for a given number y, if I denote the 2's complement as y 2 bar, then there's an easy way to perform x minus y. X minus y is just x plus y 2 bar modulo 16. Modulo means you throw 16 away and you keep the remainder. Let me tell you what this means. Suppose I want to do now 12 minus 9. Now you will notice that the 2's complement of 9 is 7. So what I will do is I will do 12 plus 7, which is 19, and then I throw 16 away. And this is my answer. And as you can see, 12 minus 9 is supposed to be 3. Let's do it properly in binary. So 12 is 1, 1, 0, 0. 9 is 1, 0, 0, 1. So instead of subtracting them like this, instead I can do 1, 1, 0, 0 plus the 2's complement of 9, which is 0, 1, 1, 1. And addition is easier than subtraction. So I just get 1, 1, 1. And now I throw this last digit away because I'm only working in 4 bits. And what I have left over is 3. So throwing this last bit away is basically subtracting 16. Because if you notice, in terms of the powers, this would be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. So I throw 16 away. And then what I have left is 3. Why is this interesting? Why do we care about doing 2's complement method? Because typically, like it might be easier to program your computer or your processor to just do additions. And then instead of again programming it to do subtraction, you do subtraction this long way by instead doing addition with the 2's complement. So using 2's complement helps you to achieve subtraction without doing subtraction. Let's take one more example. Maybe it will become a little more clearer. Suppose I want to do now 15 minus 7. So 15 is 1, 1, 1, 1. 7 is 1, 1, 1. So I know in the end I have to get the answer 8. So first let's find out 2's complement of 7. So 1, 1, 1, well, because I'm doing everything in 4 bits, I'm calling it 0, 1, 1, 1. So first I'll find out what is the 1's complement of 7. So that is going to be 1, 0, 0, 0. Then what is the 2's complement of this? 1, 0, 0, 1. So now let's add 15 to this 2's complement. So that's 1, 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 0, 0, 1. 1 plus 1 is 1, 0. 1 plus 1 is 1, 0. 1 plus 1 is 1, 0. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 1, 1. And then I throw away this last thing. What I have left is, and this is exactly what we expected. 15 minus 7 is 8. So here's how you use 2's complement to do subtractions.